It is the season where every single YouTuber starts predicting what will be on the ban list, and so of course I need to jump on that bandwagon. If it is something you're interested in, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. So first of all, artifact site. I think this is a very controversial one because like you have some people saying it should be Dagda, other people saying it should be site. In my opinion, it should be site going to 0. The reason is, sure, any 4 monsters together make a Sidelock together with DPE, Verte, Dagda, and so Dagda is like the reason that that happens. But there are also decks who Sidelock without Dagda. Now, are those just as relevant? No, but earlier on in the format we saw, for example, Virtual World Sidelocking as well. You have like Beatrice sending it, and then stuff reviving it, Baron revives it. Like a bunch of different little tricks are available in order to Sidelock people even without Dagda. And it is clearly consistently site being the issue. It's not like Dagda Lancia locking people is the issue. So if we don't want every single early format starting off with annoying site locks, I think site to 0 is probably correct. Now, the only arguments for site not being banned this specific list is, first of all, it's in the structure deck, but you know, Konami usually doesn't care that much about that either, but you know, maybe they won't because of that. But another one is that this summer we are getting Splite or Sprite, whatever you want to call it, and apparently those are able to site lock. So it's very possible that Konami doesn't hit this just yet, purely because they want to promote the summer set. That being said, I think those are strong enough even without Sidelock, so I do think site is going to 0 this coming list. The next problem child, Verte Anaconda. Is it going to 0? I think not. And here's my reasoning. I think Konami is currently on this high of promoting fusions. And, you know, we started with Dragoon, then we had Destroyer, Phoenix, Enforcer, and now we have this whole fusion archetype with Despia branded stuff going on. I think they are very, very much still hoping to kind of, you know, suckle a little bit on that fusion hype train. And so with Despia just having come out, of course, Despia doesn't require Verte, but it does like running it. And so for that reason, I believe we have one more season of Verte. Is it possible that they hit this one? Sure. I'm not saying 100% it's not getting hit, but I could see them, you know, keeping it alive at least at one for one more go, just so Despia branded can play at full power, and then after that they might hit it. Next up, the Brave engine. Now I see a lot of people super angry about this, and I have made a video in the past about what the main issue is with the Brave engine. In my opinion, it's actually the cost rather than the actual engine itself. Of course, it's super overpowered, crazy. Like, I'm not saying it's not insanely broken, but I think if more people had access to it, it would be nowhere near as frowned upon. With that being said, everyone is saying Draco back and Wandering Griffin Rider should be hit, and in my opinion they won't, because it just came out. And I do not think Konami is known for completely destroying an engine or a deck almost from the get-go. What I think is way more likely is that they hit Rite of a Remesir and Water Enchantress just like they did in the OCG. So they hit the consistency. They make it so, damn, I'm running like 3 bricks for maybe only 4 starter cards here, like 2 Water, 2 Rite, something like that. I do not see them hitting this just yet. It's too new. And now I know a lot of people say like, oh, but Konami already made their money, you know, the distributors already sold their product. But if they consistently bring stuff out and then instantly nuke it, that sets precedent for distributors and stores to not buy into product. So yes, Konami has made their money off these sets already, but they do not want to create a precedent where they make a new set and instantly nuke. So for that reason, I think Rite and Water Enchantress to 2 is a more likely outcome than the Griffin to 0, as some people might be hoping. Halc Fibrax, the boy that has been hit around a billion times by now. I think Halc is not getting banned. And my reason for that is, first of all, it was just reprinted in Ghosts from the Past. And I know that doesn't necessarily mean stuff doesn't get hit, but it is one more argument. More importantly though, I think what's more likely is that they put this 1 to 1 because there are decks running 2 right now. And so they want to kind of, you know, promote the whole Ghosts from the Past thing. Once again, yes, they made their money from the distributor already, but they do not want to set precedent. So I think this goes to 1 and then next list it goes to 0. That is my assumption. Now, speaking of Halc, I do think this card is going to 0. I think they do not want the based pile type of decks to dominate while they have Despia branded to get all the spotlight, and also they want the Somerset, so like Sprite and so forth, to do very well. So for that reason, I think they're gonna nuke Aurorodon, so at least you don't have the infinite abuse that certain pile decks are getting. I think that's a much more realistic take as well, because again, Halc was just reprinted, so they want to sell that one more time and then nuke it, whereas this one, you know, whatever, they'll just get rid of this. So I'm saying Aurorodon to 0. Next, Prankits. Now I know this one's very, very hard, because Prankits has overstayed its welcome in the eyes of Konami, I believe. I think Konami always tries to go like, hey, here's the new archetype, play this, and we ban everything from before, or we like at least nuke it to a point where it's super rogue, right? That's always a cycle. Here's a new deck, it's super powerful, everyone should play it, then we reprint it, now we nuke it. Here's a deck, everyone should play it, then we reprint it, now we nuke it. And I think Prankits now is there. I'm sorry. They got their reprints, they're now cheap as fuck. They have been so powerful for quite a long time, and now that they're still arguably second best deck, you know, right under Despia, I think Konami doesn't like that. I think they want their little child, Despia branded, to dominate right now, and so I believe Prankits will be hit. Now the big question is, will it be a hit that murders the deck, like Meow Meow to 0, or will it be a hit that, you know, slaps them on the wrist without murdering the deck? So the hits there could be like Pranks to 0 or Doodle Doo to 1. Those are like the hits Prankits could realistically get and then not die. But I think Konami doesn't give a fuck about that. So I think Meow Meow is going to 0. Will that murder the deck? Yes. Do I agree with that? No, not at all. But I think this is the way Konami handles ban lists. So I think Meow Meow is being banned. But again, I would prefer the Doodle Doo or the Pranks hit. Just hit some of that consistency, some of that follow-up. Don't murder the deck, but I wouldn't be hopeful about it. Eldritch. I like Eldritch. I may be one of 5 people on the planet that likes Eldritch. It's just something about graveyard stuff and zombies that I really dig. But I do think they're gonna hit it. Again, it's been like the back row deck that has been decent and competitive, but not the best. You know, the only point where you could argue it was best deck was when you had like Synchro Eldritch, but even then you also had Adamancipator at the same time. But after that, Eldritch has always been, you know, like the worst tier 1 deck, or arguably not even tier 1, maybe the best tier 2 deck or something along those lines. It's always dancing around that. But even so, I do think they're gonna be hit. Again, they want to be promoting their new sets. They don't want people playing with cheap decks forever. They want to absolutely gut whatever you could choose instead of the new thing they're promoting. So right now it's Despia branded, next it'll probably be Sprite. We'll see what else, you know, comes out and so forth. For that reason, I think Scarlet Sanguine is going to 1. I don't think that kills the deck, but it does hurt the deck significantly. Do I like it? No. Do I think it's necessary? No. Fusion Destiny. What are we gonna do with this one? I think it's going to 1. I think they don't want to gut DPE just yet. I think Verte, you know, staying, even if it's going to 0, I think they're gonna make it so you really want to think whether running the DPE package is worth it. So for that reason, yeah, Fusion Destiny to 0. The hit to 2 was already nonsensical, so a hit to 1, you know, why not? We're going crazy anyway, right? Branded best deck. They have to do something about it. It's so strong. No, they won't. It just came out. They're not hitting branded. I don't think so. There's a lot of things they could hit, but I just think they won't. If anything, they might hit something like completely nonsensical just to pretend like they did. Like maybe they would put Tragedy to 1 or something along those lines, but I don't see it happening at all. I don't think so. I think if branded gets hit in any way or some Despia card, it'll be a hit that does absolutely nothing just to make people say like, oh, but they hit it, you know. It's too new. They're not gonna do it. Their plan right now is for branded Despia to dominate. Next, let's talk about all the cards that are coming back. So this is the crackpot craziness, you know, what's your wish list? Not really my wish list. I just think it's time, you know. I think all the dangers are gonna be unlimited. We're now in an era where endlessly spamming board, you know, into these crazy link spam stuffs doesn't do anything. You know, there's plenty of decks that can link spam so well, but there's really not that many bosses that you can link spam into. So for that reason, I think all the dangers are coming back. I think it's time. They have been gradually bringing back stuff and it hasn't done anything. I think they don't want, you know, their ban list to be cluttered with garbage for too long. Though you could argue there's plenty of cluttered garbage that could come off as well. But since they're already on this path, I think this could come back. You know, same thing with like a hero lives and all of that stuff. The stuff that they have already gradually been bringing back that didn't do anything. Yeah, pretty sure the other dangers are gonna be. I also think Harper is coming back to 1. Now, I know a lot of people might not be a big fan of that, but if you notice the unlimbs that they have been doing the past few times, really that era they're gradually like bringing back. Like the fact that Fairy Tale Snow and Destrudo came back is mind-blowing. Like, why would you do that? What? There was no specific product to sell in bringing those back. You could argue, you know, Fairy Tale Snow being the light scent target in Branded Despia was one reason, but that's just so weird. I don't think so. I think they just want to start bringing back some of those cards from that era. I don't know why, but that seems the way they're going. So I think Harp is also coming back, you know, in a similar theme right there. And yes, in a similar theme, this boy is also coming back. I'll say it. There we go. If you know or don't know, I actually came back to the game around when Summon Sorceress came to Europe. And right after that, or like at the same time, we started getting Chaos Thunder Dragon decks, and I loved that. I loved playing this piece of shit. What a crazy bullshit card. And yeah, I think it's coming back because of multiple reasons. First of all, with the coming Sprite stuff, there's some Thunder bullshit some people have been talking about, so this could promote that kinda. They're also, again, on that high of promoting fusion stuff right now, and this is a fusion, so if they want to go ham there. And again, they're bringing back a lot of stuff from that era, like the Fairy Tale Snow, like the Destrudo, like some of the dangers. It is very, very possible, in my opinion, that we're gonna see Colossus come back. Is that a good idea? I don't know about that. I'm not saying it's a good idea, but I think it might happen. I actually tweeted out like, oh, I bought a Colossus because it's coming back 100%, you know, a bit as a meme. And the amount of people who are going crazy over that and were like, oh, copium, hopium, blah, blah. Pretty funny, but I do honestly think it could happen. I'm not saying it's a good idea, but I think it could happen. So those are my predictions. Let me know in the comments down below. I know it's already a war down there, but let me know your thoughts anyway. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you soon. Ciao.